Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to round number 8. I know it says there round 8, but I believe we are on round 9 now for what will be the Austrian Grand Prix. I'm pretty sure we did round 8 last time. Now, I can't remember whether we won. I'm pretty sure we did because it was tricky, wet, dry conditions. And we were sort of sliding about all over the place on dry tyres, but it wasn't ever wet enough for the full or for intermediate tyres. So we sort of had to go on these dry compounds despite the track was wet, and we were doing so slow lap times, and I did use a lot of flashbacks, and I do apologise for that, because obviously, as you can understand, I don't like using flashbacks, but that was the first time I believe I've ever driven in that condition sort of style. Where literally your any tiny movement, a tiny movement left, it could all change the balance of the car. And that's what's difficult about them conditions that we had in the last race. Obviously, you know, we come to Austria, another circuit where we're pretty competitive at, so I look to get the win here and move closer to Fernando Alonso. But we are ahead, massively ahead of our teammate, who is now about 15 points behind us. We're 15 points behind Alonso, so we do have to bear that in mind. And it looks like McLaren got a massive fast car. Alongside Ferrari as well, but it's so close this season, honestly, and yeah, it's making good racing so far this season. Every track we go to, teams are different, whether or not that'll be, well, I imagine that'll be here the same, you know, but so far we've been very consistent this season, which is something we didn't quite have last season, I feel. So let's try and get into this one. One of my favourite tracks on the planet Austria is Spielberg, or on this game anyway. Very simple track, but that's what I like about it. Very simple. Okay, and it's very fast. It's a different challenge, and yeah, it's a very nice different challenge. So we're gonna do the track climatization like always. Then we'll do some race pace. See how that goes, and then we'll head into qualifying. We'll see, you know, how things go here. So opening up DRS on this first lap, going up into turn 1, and it's uphill braking point. You sort of just want to clip that apex there, aim for then the outer curb on the left, then up the hill, open up the DRS. Remember, there's 3 DRS zones on this track since 2018. Bit wide into turn 2, open up DRS again. This is your second of the 2 DRS zones, and literally it's 3 consecutive DRS zones here, because you got pit straight, then the second DRS zone straight, then obviously that DRS zone there. So missing that one completely. Obviously, thing about it, the further on in the weekend we'll go, the better our laps times will be, like always. But I wonder how fast we can get this weekend. So we're already in the 107s. Let's see if we can go into the 106s. So that'll be massive improvement there in terms of time. So we're about 10th up in the first sector. About the second up overall. As we enter the third lap. So about 1 second up. About 3/10 off Sebastian Vettel, but he is on the soft tyre compound compared to me, who sort of on the medium. Alright. Oh no, I've done it again with that turn. I keep on getting green at that turn. Hopefully we will get this lap the purple score, the full 50 resource points. Alright, I need a good middle sector. And I need a good end to the lap. No. So right, didn't get purple score there. Like, I'm not gonna waste any more time. The car feels good. In all honesty, it doesn't feel like it's doing anything uncharacteristic. So we're now gonna put on a car setup. We're gonna go for this one here. This weekend, gonna go 4 wings. Tend to find that best around here. We're now going to get on with race strategy, more or less. This will indicate to us our race pace. Hopefully it'll be good. You know, fingers crossed. And then we'll get into qualifying for round number 9, the Austrian Grand Prix. And what's interesting I find right now, Carlos Sainz is behind us on the ultra soft tyres, yet we set our lap on the soft tyre, so that shows pace is certainly there. Bit shaky out turn 1, not how I would like it personally. Now just remember that this lap is not about doing the quickest time, it's about doing overall, beating that delta by a decent margin. Do that, then things look good. One back with Bottas now. He's also on the super softs.
Okay, super job so far. We're getting great data. Stay focused.
Again, not quite getting run through turn 1. I would have liked. Again on that, or on this lap, should I say? Sorry, Bottas is actually on the soft tyre. My mistake. Thought he was on supers. So quickest middle. Alright. Skipping over the last curve. That certainly lost us a lot of time.
Keep it up.
We're now gonna bring a bit more pace to the floor. some attempts down. So, not greatest pace so far. Nothing lightning in this lap. But let's see how final sector is. Right, time much better through there. Yeah, we do improve to finish within a tenth. So, right. There we go, so that's the end of then that. We got the 50 resource points that we needed to pass that, of course, which is always good. And we'll now move on to qualifying for what will be then the Austrian qualifying. And we did breeze that, really. And yeah, not bad. In terms of pace, though, looks like Vettel doing a very, very good job. So could we actually be a 10th down here potentially? To Ferrari, we'll see. But you know, live from that anyway. Indications we are a 10th down because Bottas and I did do very similar lap times. I was a bit faster than Bottas, but usually we do go round this track quite goodly. And we'll have to see though what lap times. I'm gonna say a 104, maybe a 103. Will be pole position. You know, that's the lap time I'm thinking of, really, for pole. We're only going to find out when we commit to a lap, obviously. Hopefully, that lap will be good. Good enough to show us what we can do. But considering we were in the 105s quite easily there, weren't really pushing much, I don't feel. Or pushing to what I could have. I feel like 104 is capable, maybe like a low 1.4, even into the mid 1.3s would be very, very much on the cards here. I don't think we're going to be able to get into the 102s, but we're only going to find out in a minute's time, because obviously it takes roughly a minute to get a good outlap here, you know, considering the lap's quite short. And it looks like we've got a lot of clean air up in front. Looks like no one's really following us about. So we can sort of cruise around on this lap a little bit to get the car in a nice place, of course. We will be replacing potentially one part for the race, by the way, in terms of our engines cycle. Probably one of the energy store units will probably replace. But then we've only got 2 of them, so would it be good to eke it out to the next round? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. In terms of anything else, though, everything else is all good. Don't really have to worry, you know, about much in terms of parts. Right, now we're going to turn up the engine, so start the lap. Oh, running a bit wide onto the grass, or cutting the corner, should I say. Right, out final turn, up through start finish line. There's a car on the exit, hopefully that'll be long clear. What on earth happened there? Sort of just lost front end grip all of a sudden. Right, we'll restart the lap, so we don't gain any advantage. Alright, through turn 1. Open up DRS, up the straight. Into turn 2. All about exit there. Just trying to also take the shortest line down the straights, because even though the straights are straights, they are a bit curved here, if that makes sense. So they sort of do bend and twist. So it's best you do try and take the shortest line. As we will probably gain a bit of a tow also, but and we may get delayed on the final corner by the Toro Rosso, but then we will gain that back, and we really hit the bottom. That's twice now on the exact same lap. We've not had a brilliant opening first qualifying lap here. So yeah, so I did say a low 4.
So far. Well done.
It's only a bit of time in the bank. So Ricciardo instantly beats that, going faster. By the way. Obviously, the objective is to beat McLaren right now this weekend and Red Bull, like always, because we know Red Bull came back into it last season, championship. So, you know, for whatever reason, Red Bull don't seem to start strong in the season, but they tend to have good ending to the season right now.
P2, you're currently in second place.
Alright, we'll come back into pits. We'll pit for a fresh set of tyres, obviously. Even though these tyres probably are okay, like they're not wrecked. The tyre life around here, it's more or less a very, very easy one-stop. Don't have to worry too much about tyre wear. There's not really much you can do in terms of strategy around here. Like,
there's only one lap of fuel remaining.
yeah. So, into pits will come, bolt on a new set of tyres. Then we'll sim the time forward, obviously, and then we'll go out for one last run with about 2 minutes to go, or 1 minute and 40 to go. As long as we're out before of the garage and heading down the pit lane with about 1 minute 45 to go, we should be safe and we should get the lap in. So obviously, yeah, we've got plenty of time now to wait to kill, sort of thing. And right now, my teammate isn't. Oh wait, my teammate's on pole actually. Sorry to say. Who's in the low 1.4s. So I do think a 1.03 is going to be pole position, because obviously we're probably all going to find about half a second, hopefully, on the second lap or more. Right, we're going to go out probably in about. Now, I'm going to go, I'll probably wait for it to go about 10 seconds. So we'll go,
to see some rain about 10 to 15 minutes
we'll go now.
When you're ready, let's go.
So we're going to go now. Okay, so this will be our final lap in qualifying. Then we'll get into the race for the Austrian Grand Prix. Right now, we're starting, of what I'm aware, third. Providing no one's doing a faster lap. So right now we'll start in fourth. Sorry. But the last few Grand Prix that we've done here, we've started, I believe, third. Now, Vettel and Raikkonen are a bit late on my watch, so they may get delayed by me. And we've got to stay out of the way, because my teammate's on our lap here, who's behind. So we've got to stay out of the way, don't want to inconvenience, so I'm going to go to the left, just the easiest thing I can do to be out of the way of my teammate, and we can sort of filter in. So we've got Raikkonen behind us. Whoa. So we're just taking it easy. So now we're at the back of the train, so we will be the last ones to cross the line. Got about 30 seconds remaining on the Delta. So we should make it. I'm going to drop back towards that McLaren, so we don't get inconvenienced by anyone who will be on an in lap. We're going to go now, I think. Then if we do get caught by anyone who's on an in lap, we should only pick them up at the end of the lap, hopefully. Right, much better through turn one. About a 10th up already. Much better through turn two as well. So far this lap is clicking. About 10th up on the pole lap, according to this. Ricciardo goes even faster. Through the final two corners. Where will we fit in? Is it pole? It is. Pole position.
Good job, mate. Really well done. That was a fantastic
Yes,
drive.
that is brilliant. That was very, very good. So, is that, if I'm correct, back-to-back pole positions? Because I'm pretty sure we got pole in France, so I'm pretty sure that's back-to-back pole positions. For probably first time in my Formula One career mode series. So yeah, back-to-back pole positions and almost half a second clear of Ricciardo, which is absolutely blitz of the field. Basically, no one can reply to that sort of thing. And it was actually the weird thing about that. I didn't really feel like I was pushing on that lap. I felt like I probably still had.
All right.
I'm not going to say another half second in the bank, but probably a good 0.2 of a second. So yeah, that was really, really smooth. Just like trouble-free. And I feel like we probably had a little bit of time in the middle sector, probably, don't know about the last sector, probably a little bit, but I just didn't feel like the car needed pushing there. Very, very weird sensation that is, obviously. Right, anyway, we'll look at the quick weather, see what's going on with weather, and then, yeah, so it's going to be a dry race. Lap 7 we're coming in on, so that's okay. And right, as we now pull away.
Make sure to warm up the tyres and brakes. Warm the tyres and brakes throughout the lap.
It looks a bit overcast right now, but it is, according to weather report, gonna stay dry for the race. So hopefully we can get a good start. We've not really ever made a good start. I would like to make that start today, where we just don't get overtaken at first corner. Therefore, you just don't have to do a comeback drive, if you know what I mean. And Alonso's been disqualified. He's only been disqualified from the formation lap, not from the race. So we don't actually have to worry about that. McLaren seem quite low today, if that makes sense. They don't seem to be as high. Let me just check the starting position, while I'm aware. So Alonso's starting 8th. And where's Van Dorn starting? 19th. So, wow, that is really, really low, if you know what I mean. For the McLaren. Because obviously, Alonso's leading the championship. I just want to work out what that means. I'm pretty sure for us to lead the championship, Alonso would have to finish, of what I'm aware, or not to lead the championship, Alonso has to finish in, if I'm correct, 4th. So he needs to make up 4 places during the course of this race to prevent us from leading the championship. Is that possible? I guess it is. It is Fernando Alonso, but don't get me wrong, still not showing the pace that you'd expect from the quickest car. Because in the what you call it?
The rest of the grid is forming up.
In the upgrade chart, it says McLaren has the quickest car. Clearly not today. As I say, it does vary track to track, even with us. Like Monaco, we're piss slow, sort of thing. But, and same with Azerbaijan, could be said. Right, anyway. 5 red lights. It's lights out and away we go. And I think, for once, we've made a half-decent start. And we are going to be in the lead, trouble-free, into the first corner. Bottas takes second place as Bottas now pulls alongside. It can't be said for the second corner as Bottas is now in the lead of the Austrian Grand Prix. We break a bit early. We're going to go down the inside. Bottas locks up. Ricciardo is in 3rd, so we still hold on to what is the lead. Bottas is going to try again into turn 3. Again, we're going to stay on the inside, protect that inside racing line, and Bottas cannot find a way through just yet on this opening lap of the Austrian Grand Prix as we now all filter down into the last section of the track as we are about to enter lap number 2. We do have a bit of fuel on board, but not much for this race compared to other tracks, obviously, so we are literally racing with what we've got rather than racing with a bit of extra fuel, so we can't turn it up into rich, unfortunately. And obviously that's the fastest lap of the Grand Prix that we've just set, as we now enter lap 2. And obviously we're just going to try and eke out a lead lap by lap, and just try and build up about a 3-4 second lead over Daniel Ricciardo, so then when we come in, hopefully we'll get a clean stop. And then obviously we just won't have as much troubles when it comes to pitting, and won't get hurled up, and then that will lead to a good outlap, of course, where we can sort of relax. So yeah, Bottas keeping up with me, not too far back, who's in second place right now. Bottas ain't, as we now enter the end of this midsection and into the final sector we go for the second time now. So through the middle part of the lap, or towards the end of the lap should I say, then as we head down the hill into the final corner and across the line, does look like us Mercedes are pulling out a nice gap on the Red Bulls, who are already 2 seconds behind myself. My teammate's about a second behind, so obviously that's obviously brilliant. So Verstappen now is in third, fighting with Ricciardo. Obviously can't show you exact details of what's going on between them two, because obviously we are racing here in front. But yeah, right now I'm just not going flat out right now, just, how can you put it, conserving, but just going quick in the parts we need to be quick. We've got about a second gap over our teammate, so our teammate isn't really much of a threat right now from behind. He's more just there rather than a threat, as we now do a new fastest lap for the race, and our teammate's already 2 seconds behind, more or less 1.7 to be precise. So our teammate is dropping back steadily, and we've got a nice gap also over the Red Bull, 4 seconds, almost 5. So yeah, we've got good gaps now starting to form right now, which is nice, of course. That's what you want, of course. And this just takes pressure off, and quite boring actually. I would like now the issue to arise to put me a bit under pressure, but it's also quite nice as well when you get just a race like this right now, where everything is going your way. There's no need to rush. You can just enter corners, exit them, you know, calmly and surely. And there's a new fastest lap. And I don't feel like I'm pushing right now. I just feel like we're going normal speed. So already the Red Bulls are almost 6 seconds behind, which is huge. Like, yeah, my teammate's about 3. And right now we would be leading the championship, by the way, as things remain, of what I'm aware. As we now enter lap 6, and just starting to turn out a little bit in terms of our pace wise, to now eke out a bit more of a lead really. Also still conserving slightly, and we've got now quite a nice buffer. 4 seconds to our teammate, 7 seconds to Ricardo. Got a very nice buffer, indeed. Which is something we don't really tend to get much. In career mode. Usually we're quite, you know, pushing all the way. It's very much a different kind of race today so far.
We're going to box this lap, push hard on the in lap.
So our teammate's 4.4, so, you know, still very, very healthy gap. My teammate's gaining probably most in the first sector, by the way. Taking about almost half a second off me in that first sector, but then it's in this middle and last sector where we seem to just have really just a pace advantage overall that he can't match.
Box now, please. Box this lap.
Right, so we gained about a tenth there, then we're getting about 3/10 in the middle, or last, should I say. And we now come into the pits for what is our one and only pit stop. In we come then. So this should be clean. We got a nice buffer. Come on, that was absolutely shit on the delay. So we got put down. I'd say we've lost about half a second there.
Up to speed now. Let's get some heat into those tyres.
We now come out behind Ericsson. We'll pick up a bit of DRS from Ericsson, which is alright.
Caution, caution. Caution, caution. The virtual
No!
safety car is out. Reduce speed and maintain a positive delta.
Oh, fuck. My teammate's gonna come out in the lead, ain't he? The game's fucked me over. Unless it goes green, I reckon my teammate's
Slow
got
down,
this.
slow down. Your delta is negative, which means you are too fast. Reduce your pace.
Right, teammates
Valtteri is in the pits.
in pits now.
VSC ending, we're going green. Maintain positive
It's gonna be
delta
touch and
until
go,
the
by
green
the way.
flags.
We're
Okay,
literally
the
just
incident
gonna
has
have
been
to
cleared.
bolt.
Let's get back up to racing
So this
speed.
is gonna be very close, I believe, between Valtteri and I. I have no idea. I think we'll rejoin in front, but only just. If that VSC was out for a few seconds longer, we would have rejoined behind then. And that's obviously changed the shape of the race. Put Bottas back into contention 100% now. As we now make a manoeuvre on Ericsson for the lead of the Grand Prix. Obviously Ericsson was gonna have to come in anyway, but yeah. Right, should pull out a nice lead anyway, again. But just annoying that, because we've worked so hard, and then to have your audit, to have your lead virtually squashed to a peanut, more or less.
Teammate behind is 1.6 seconds.
Alright, 1.6. Gonna turn up the ERS deployment just for a few laps to help us eke out something of this you know, race. I'm not needing to eke it out, but I would like to, because obviously my teammate's a bit too close for comfort right now. Would like to keeping out of that 1 second window. My teammate is now probably well within it. And that's what I mean, like this has really changed the shape of this race in some sense. Right, just now eking out again that lead that we had. Alright, doing a new fastest lap there. And pulling out about a 2-second gap to our teammate in the meantime. And also, I just want to now note, Fernando Alonso is in third, so he's gained massively during this race. I was saying before the race, obviously, Alonso, you know, well, McLaren weren't seeming that quick this weekend, but surprise surprise, Alonso makes it back to the podium regardless, which is quite Alonso typical. Right now we are leading us two Mercedes 1 and 2, whilst Alonso sits in third, and I think the two Ferraris are behind Fernando Alonso right now. Giving obviously Ferrari some decent points today. Who have been reasonably strong, the Ferraris have, obviously.
Battery charge is high. Let's increase ERS.
As we now enter the final few laps of this Austrian Grand Prix, and realistically there's been no mistake by me so far today, which is new, I guess. Hopefully, fingers crossed, that continues. Like, I think we've made one or two maybe errors, but no flashbacks in this race. And yeah, and we've done very, very well. We've led this race from start to finish. Obviously, we've been strong around this circuit in the past,
We have 5 laps of fuel remaining.
so it's no surprise to me to be fast around here now, if you know what I mean. But it's just how strong in particular I am compared to my teammate. Okay, it may look like we're quite close in terms of distance, only 3.2 seconds, but you gotta remember, at one point it was around almost 5 seconds. So realistically, we've eked out over the course of this race about a 10-second gap already on my teammate. Like, it was only for virtual safety car that sort of bunched myself and my teammate up and almost handed my teammate the lead, is what really has made it look maybe like we're a bit closer than what things may seem in reality. We're now into lap 15, 4 laps to go. We now progress towards, hopefully, a race win. I know I'm saying hopefully, I should be saying will be, more or less, because it looks like there's not much going to happen now. Looks like we're controlling this race. And we've got this one covered. And our teammates, by the way, after this, 37, if I'm correct, points behind us. We're about 4 points behind Alonso, so overall, things do look good for us in this championship so far. You know, especially when you compare it to last season.
Of fuel remaining.
So, literally 2 laps to go. And I know I haven't been commentating really on these last few laps, but not really much to say. We're just dominating. Right from the word get-go.
Let's turn up the ERS deployment and burn some of this energy.
So only literally now like 1 lap to go. Gonna turn up the ERS. Ooh, almost going for a spin there.
This is your final lap of the race.
So, I guess the way you could describe this race is dominant. That, if you could sum it up in one word, that would be the word dominant. Or dominated. And it was dominated by myself today. With a brilliant race win, I think, personally. And as race wins go, I don't know whether that or this is the best of or in this career mode series. Certainly gonna be up there with one of the best races this season that we've had in terms of like level of control. As we now enter and across the line, and I think we set a fastest lap, which is brilliant. Yes, get him there. That is absolutely fabulous. What a race. Like, you know, if it wasn't for that virtual safety car, we could have been about 10 seconds ahead of our teammate. But obviously the safety car does affect things. But otherwise, it may have affected the time difference between me and my teammate, but it didn't affect the outcome for us. And a 1-2 as well. I forgot to mention that. So yeah, that's a brilliant result. and probably a result we needed as well in some sense. So yeah, a 1-2 for us, for myself, my teammate. Alonso, third place, can't be doubted. Very good race from him, from 8th. I think he started 8th, finished in 3rd. So yeah, climbed the 4 places he needed really to keep on top of the championship now by 4 points. So yeah, obviously that's a very, very good result for him as well. But yeah, what a race for us, and yeah, what a race indeed. Like, look how far ahead we were compared to others, really. Miles, really. So, like, yeah, I don't know why that was. I know in Season 1 we were very, very quick. Like, yeah, we were the only ones to do a 105.6, by the way. So, we were practically per lap, lapping around half a second quicker almost. Which is insane, really. And we were basically, you know, well clear of Red Bull. Look at how clear the next Red Bull is. I know one of Red Bull's had to retire. I think it was Ricciardo, but 22 seconds ahead of Max Verstappen, 19 seconds ahead of Kimi Raikkonen, even though it was a virtual safety car. So just goes to show how good we were today. I think that does. And then 4 seconds ahead of our teammate, really. And we were quite comfortably ahead. We weren't just, you know, ahead. We were quite comfortably. We're now 4 points behind now. Behind Fernando Alonso. Sorry. We're about 26 points ahead of our teammate, which is obviously brilliant. But we've got a nice, comfortable lead to both to Ferrari now, and the Red Bull of Daniel Ricciardo, and the others, of course. In terms of constructors, well, we're now 71 points ahead of McLaren, which is obviously fantastic. 94 points ahead of Scuderia Ferrari, and 113 ahead of Red Bull. Then a long, long way back to Force India. So yeah, very, very good. Then, but quite actually close the fights are this season, because I would go to say that realistically right now, I'm not going to say you've got 2 teams fighting for first. I think that's obviously not the case. Right now, we've been 71 points ahead. We can comfortably afford to probably lose the next 2 races and would still be ahead by at least a good decent amount of points. But in all fairness as well, we are still quite a sound distance ahead. Then you got the McLaren, well, from Red Bull to McLaren, or McLaren to Red Bull, about less than 50 points separating the 2 or 3 teams. You know, so quite close between them. And then the next lot would have to be Force India, Renault, Sauber, all within, again, 50 points of one another. So that could go either way, sort of thing. And then you got Williams on 6 points, Haas on 4 points, and Toro Rosso on 2 points, less than virtually there, 4 points separating, you know, the teams. Then just going to have a look at the race replay quickly, just first few laps then. So just a reminder of what happened. So good start actually, and that was easily my best start I think we've ever made. And I did say I wanted a good start. Wow, I never knew Bottas was that close to me going into turn 1. Let's just have a look. How close is he? Jeez, if he was any closer, he would literally be up my arse. So he made an excellent start. No wonder why he got into second. Went around the outside of Daniel Ricciardo. Reason why I went on to the inside, because at this point you just never know if a car comes up your inside. At least if you go on to leave a bit of a gap, but you can see I've left about a good meter or 2. At least if you leave that gap, then at least therefore no one should in theory you know, overtake you or, you know, hit you and take you out. And you can see there, you know, very, very good. I don't know why my teammate locked up. I just want to have a look what happened, because it wasn't like I did leave him enough space. So you can see, I've left him actually from this view. I thought I was only leaving him with probably a good meter or so. Didn't expect to be that big. But it looks a lot bigger. Looks like you'd probably fit another car in there. You know, realistically. But my teammate locked up, okay, going into this one, while I'm aware. There it is, there's his lock up. So I don't know why he locked up. Maybe he wasn't expecting me to be quite there, maybe, I don't know, or maybe he spotted me late, I don't know. It looked like, I mean, then he gets a quite good exit, or picks up the slipstream. Doesn't have enough room, wow. But what a racing between us two, actually. I think that was very, very good, clean racing, actually, between us two. And really, that's really what made this race. And then from there, for me, it was just all history. I don't want to see the battle quickly between Ricciardo and Max Verstappen, because they had a bit of a battle today, them two did. So obviously I just want to see what went down, see how did it all unfold. I know obviously it all unfolded after us two Mercedes really making that break. You can actually see that break build up probably by the time we get to lap 3 or end of lap 2. You can really start seeing it really. And yeah, right, here it is. So basically, let's see what happens. So obviously, DRS assisted, by the way. So going down into turn 2, Max Verstappen picking up DRS, goes to the left-hand side, then goes around the outside, almost getting overtaken by Raikkonen. Ricciardo comes back on a bit of the exit or sort of entry sort of thing. This time Ricciardo's got the DRS, but look how fast Max Verstappen is. Even with DRS, Verstappen easily holding along side by side. So it must have been a slipstream really what helped out then Verstappen there. Unless Ricciardo had an engine issue developing from that moment on. Side by side, wow, what brilliant racing between them two actually. Very, very good. Still, even a bit of a challenge going on then there from Ricciardo. So now Ricciardo will probably have a comeback, I would have thought. And yeah, Ricciardo exactly doing that immediately. So actually not wise this move from Ricciardo, because I would wait until the DRS zone, because who's going to pick up DRS there? Would it be Verstappen or Ricciardo? Let's see. Ricciardo goes a bit out wide. I think Verstappen picks up the DRS. Yes, he does. Crucially. But so does Raikkonen. And Raikkonen puts Verstappen under pressure. Now, who's going to win that battle between Raikkonen and Verstappen? I presume Ferrari must have a bit more engine, maybe. I just don't know. Let's see. I think Raikkonen is winning it. So Raikkonen practically won that. Slam, well, hands down. This really allowed Ricciardo to break them there. And yeah, that's really what happened. Then, oh wait, Verstappen comes back. Going around the outside for Verstappen. Does he get it? I think he does. Yes, he does. Wow, nice racing then between these three, actually. Really, really good. This was all going on behind me, obviously. You can see. Obviously, Ricciardo at this point looks quite comfortable. Now, I do believe Verstappen before pit stops does overtake. Or does he not? Pretty sure though before. So, something happened to... Oh, contact. So, some contact between them there. So, at this moment, everything's just going wrong for Verstappen. He's making really good progress in that middle sector, but yeah, this really allowed Ricciardo to brake, crucially. So yeah, brilliant, obviously, for Ricciardo. Ricciardo must be enjoying that a bit like how I was enjoying. And you can see, this is the gap I had out in front. Let's see, you can't even see. He's up coming over the hill, basically, whilst I am literally gone. Let's see if we can see. There's my teammate in the background. Just see him just coming out of now that turn. And you just see the gap there. Huge gap, really, for us. So yeah, right, let's see what happens now with Ricciardo. I'm going to speed it up so we can see more what actually happens, how we get railed in. Because Ricciardo was one who brought out the VSC. Wonder what the issue was. Don't know whether we've pitted yet. I think we're probably pitting this lap. Oh, right. There we go. So, the issue started somewhere back here. Let's just listen. Is it lost of power? Something's happened there. Sounds like the car's gone into like a stall mode there. So just actually listen. Right. Gear 1, fine, but then when he gets to about 70, or gear 2, sounds like just not going into the next gear. So probably, I'm going to say gearbox issue there. Right. That is that then over. That's that race done, and we'll just do the media quickly, answer the questions, and then we'll obviously do the contract. I believe we've got a contract now to do, and then we'll obviously do it from that. Obviously,
it doesn't get much better than a win at this track, does it?
Well, that's certainly true. I'm just gonna say that. Like, I don't really know what to say.
Close between you and your rival for a bit, but you came out on top, didn't you?
Did it? I don't know. To me, it didn't. Overall, if you know what I mean. Today, it didn't. Anyway. So yeah. Next round will be the British Grand Prix, by the way. So obviously, home Grand Prix for us. And for the Mercedes team in a way, because Mercedes Formula 1 cars are made in Britain. Made in Brackley, actually, which is in Northamptonshire, if you don't know, which is a part of the UK. And yeah, Trump, obviously, Ricardo then there in the rivalry right now, leading our teammate in the other rivalry right now. And right now, obviously, we're doing quite good in the rivalries compared... Oh, no, we don't have a contract, sorry, review, unfortunately. I thought we did. So yeah, then that's it then. We'll just skip to the next weekend, select our tyres, and then that will be it for today's video. So I hope you enjoyed that race win. I know it may not be the most interesting race overall. That's why I showed you a bit of action going on behind me. But yeah, it was a good race in my opinion. So yeah, see you all next time. Subscribe, like, and share like always. That'd be very much appreciated. And thank you if you already have, of course. And see you all next time for the British round number 10 Grand Prix.